cap off, and we're going to stand up, and then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down. And on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap, and we're going to get up, and then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you. Before long, we're going to be the last one standing.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are here to take a look at this Lions versus Steelers game on Saturday, where the Lions lost by 6 points, a little bit deeper. So today we are going to be looking at the Detroit Lions first team defense, well, most of it, against most of the Pittsburgh Steelers first team offense. All right, now this is about 4 drives that we're going to look at. It's really kind of 3 drives, but sort of 4 drives as well. And there's not a ton of plays here, but there's some chunks that the Lions given up. There was good, there was bad, and I thought we'd take a deeper look at it. Now we're going to break this into segments throughout the week. So if there's something in particular you want to see, maybe you want to see a couple players specifically, maybe you want to see the run game, maybe you want to see the I don't know, whatever it may be, let me know in the comment section below. And if there's one that's pretty darn popular, the people are like, hey, I really want to see this, like the comment that says that, and we'll do a video on it. But I thought we'd start off with the Lions first team defense. Reason being is because we got to play the Steelers first team offense. That included Ben Roethlisberger, and last week we didn't get to play the starting quarterback. We had to play Mr. Trubisky, who apparently lit up the Bears. That's what I'm hearing. So that's good news for us. But anyways, we're going to take a look at this Steelers offense against the Lions defense. And, you know, we try to do this the best that we can. Look back, try to get a really good take. And there's some really good notes from this. And, you know, there's that quote out there that it's never as bad as you think it is when your team lost. Like, when you look back, it's never as bad as you may have thought it was. And then when your team's winning, it's never as good as maybe you think it is. I don't remember who said that. I know I'm messing that up, but it's an interesting quote, but it's pretty darn true. Usually, I know for me, like, I mean, when you're watching a game, you definitely have extremes. So one thing y'all know, I get hyped up on the little things because I just get pumped. I just love watching my team play. So during games, things get exaggerated. But when you go back and look at it, you can really see what happened. And we may come back to this to look at specific players, more schematic things, but we saw a lot of similarities to last week in terms of scheme, in terms of getting after the quarterback, a lot of blitzing, cornerback blitz. All right, we saw a lot of things schematically the same, and we'll get into Derek Barnes. We'll break that down, probably his performance, second string, third string. We'll take a look at that because some of those guys were really good, and we want to know who stood out in those groups. A lot of these guys are probably going to make the team. Not all of them, but a lot of these probably will. But who stood out in the second and third unit that has the chance to make this roster? But without speaking anymore, I just want to dive right into this, and I want to make a few notes before we get too far. First off, as you can see, Austin Bryant at your top of your screen here. Now, Austin Bryant, if you're wondering why he's out there basically with the ones, Trey and Romeo did not play in this game, so we had basically 2 backup outside linebackers starting. So it was our first defense, but we didn't have Michael Brockers. You know, we didn't play all our starters. Alex and Jamie Collins sat out. So it was a test because the Steelers came in scheming offensively with their new offensive coordinator. So they wanted to have Ben Roethlisberger out there. That's what Mike Tomlin said. He said, I usually wouldn't do this if it wasn't for a new offense. So this was a very big test for this Lions defense. And there was some good. We know there was also some bad. But we saw Lee McNeil. We saw the Jayshon Cornell. So we got to see that rotate a little bit. I think we saw some Kevin Strong as well. We'll go through it, but we know Deshaun Hand wasn't here. Nick Williams was not playing in this game. And the secondary, for the most part, was basically the starters. And they still were giving A.J. Parker these reps as basically your starting slot cornerback in this game. So not Nickel Roby-Coleman. That was something that maybe we could have saw this week. We were thinking maybe that's possible. But no, they rolled with A.J. Parker. And I'm glad they did because he was one of those guys that rose to the occasion. Here's the first play for the Steelers offense. Well, the first play technically was a false start, which backed them up, made it a 1st and 15 situation. And as a defense, you really just want to take advantage of that. Like, you have them behind the sticks early. Let's get off the field. And credit to the Lions defense on this first drive. They do that. There were some ups and some downs, but they got off the field. And a couple guys that stick out in this first down play that I want you to pay attention to is Ali McNeil on the inside here, and also A.J. Parker, but he's the guy that's basically going to make this play. And maybe even a little bit of Jalen Reeves-Maybin because he takes away kind of like the first read for Ben Roethlisberger. But it's really Aleem McNeil. Now, one thing we know about McNeil, all right, we've known this about Aleem coming out of the draft, is that Aleem is a different player when he's fresh. And it'll be nice to have the opportunity to keep him really fresh this season when you have Pennicini, Nick Williams, whoever it may be. Being able to keep him rotated and fresh is going to be great. We don't have some of those guys right now. Maybe that becomes Miles Brown as well. Maybe he gets into that rotation. So we saw a different McNeil, and it was some ups and some downs. But when he's ready to go, when he's feeling good, he can be really tough, and you can see what he can do. You see flashes of how dominant he can be as a young interior defender. And that's what you see on his first down play. Just notice the get off. Bam. All right, quick get off, and also how fast he gets his hands out. Look how fast he has his hands out going against this center here for the Steelers. This is a fantastic rep from Malik McNeil. Gets inside on the center with one arm, just grabs him, kind of pulls him out of the way, and then he attacks and he hooks right underneath, and he gets after ability for Ben Roethlisberger to step up into the pocket. Now, Jayshon Cornell being a little bit taller of an interior defensive lineman, he likes to go to a swim move, things like that. You'll see here he gets chopped down, and he loses some balance, falls on the ground there. And Big Ben does look quickly to the left on this play right here, but Jalen Reese-Maybin, you can see good communication with Amani to take that away. That was a nice subtle rep. It's hard to see with this camera angle, I know. But then it's about A.J. Parker. All right, A.J. Parker makes this play. And A.J. Parker, I'm glad he got the reps that he did because we got to see things like this. Watch how fast he shoots on this play. Bam! Are you kidding me? No hesitation, no thinking. As soon as he sees Ben Roethlisberger, turn to throw, that way he's coming down on this pass. Limit that first snap to keep them in second and long. Now you're in a really good spot defensively. You just basically can't give up back-to-back 7-yard plays. Now in this play, they kind of do, but the next one they don't. And you're going to see that here. All right, now this is something they've also done in the first preseason game a ton, and you're going to see it even more. You'll probably see it again as we go through this clip, but when you look through the second and third straight. And what I like about that is doing kind of the same things over and over and over. And even though that can help out the offense a little bit in terms of attacking them, especially when they're scheming, it also helps the Detroit Lions evaluate these defensive players in a situation that's very familiar. When you see one guy in the same situation as another, you can side-by-side compare them. So I do like that when you talk about, well, how do we know who to keep, who to cut? I like that they're running similar things, throughout both games with all the groups. And you see it here. We saw this when we watched the Bills game. You see the safety drop. You're going to have the other safety slide down here as A.J. Parker blitzes off the edge. Watch, the safety comes in. Bam, right there he is. So it's the same thing the Lions did last week, the exact same thing. But the Steelers have their own little interesting tweak offensively. They go on a shotgun. They're going to pull their left guard upfield here. And this is really good blocking. Shout out to their interior offensive lineman, 72. Look how quickly he gets downhill to pick up Jelani Tavai. One place where I definitely have to give Derek Barnes credit is he is very quick. He's not hesitant at all. He shoots downhill. He's a very good downhill linebacker. I have to give him credit for that. I almost think sometimes maybe Jelani overthinks things, and sometimes he's just not as bam, let's just go. Let's just fly. He's sometimes just a little bit more, okay, let me make sure that it doesn't break to the outside. He's a little bit more hesitant with the way he plays. In some situations, I get it. Others, I don't completely get it. This one where A.J. Parker comes off the edge, and I get it, right? He's going to start right. Oh, you don't want him to bounce it back outside. But having Parker on the edge, maybe you didn't have to do that, right? Especially when you see the guard pull out of there. You didn't really do that. Offensive line blocks him to that side. Reese-Maybin does his job. He picks up the lead blocker. But Tavai is late to get back down and shoot this hole, and all of a sudden it leaves the hole open for the running back. Now, A.J. Parker, shout out to Cornell getting back into the play. You would like to see the defensive line, not get pushed to this side. You do like to see the safety come down, get involved. The safeties have been doing that. Look at this. Austin Bryant pushing Okuda. What was that? What was that? What was this? I didn't see this before. Okay, I see. But anyways, 3rd and 4 now. It's a big run. You can't give that up. The Lions' run defense was really good on the day. That is one you can't give up. However, then we're in a 3rd and 4 situation. And this is where you got to get off the field. 4 yards, don't let the offense have it. And this was a heck of a rep. Maybe one of their better defensive plays of the day just across the board. First off, Charles Harris, the guy to take a look at. Let's just take a peek at him first. I like this. This time they have him in a 2-point stance. They go Austin Bryant out of with his hand in the dirt. Charles Harris gets downhill, and you can see he starts inside, attacks outside, gets the offensive tackle kind of just leaning a little bit, and then he smacks down those arms quickly, the quick reaction, and all of a sudden he's in the backfield, and he's getting a hand on Big Ben, forcing him to roll out. That is a heck of a rep for Charles Harris, a guy who's coming back this week. You'll see, A.J. Parker, he's going to slide down on Juju, who takes his out route, which is the first place where Big Ben looks. So again, give A.J. Parker credit. He was in a spot where Big Ben didn't want to throw it. Right here. His first read, bam. Coming out of this break, his first read is Smith-Schuster, but he doesn't throw it. We can't see Parker, but you can see him here. He jumps on that, so give him credit again. But then also, I know I'm keep going backwards, but look at Will Harris. He, before the snap, look where he's lined up. He's right here. He's going to follow Eric Ebron. You'll see him at the end of the play. But he's playing man-to-man coverage. This is something I noted back in, practice. They would do this in 7-on-7s. He would get up and play physical with Darren Fells. Didn't matter who it was. He's a physical player. And he seems comfortable playing in this situation I just put him to play the physical brand of football. And we see that here. He's going to be physical right off the... Look at this. Look at him. He's working with Eric Ebron. Good job by Parker to force, Big Ben not to throw the first look. Then the pressure forces Big Ben out of the pocket. Shout out to Cornell staying with it. You're going to see Tavai shoot down as the quarterback rolls out. Then he comes back around the other way, pushes over his own teammate. And here we go. Here's the deep pass. Look at this coverage by Will Harris. Now, I know it's tight end. He's not the fastest guy. But because of the force out of the pocket, force him to throw and run, he couldn't like high point it or anything like that. And Will Harris, I mean, this is just tremendous coverage. Hand playing through the tight end, Eric Ebron, making a play, and that is huge. We know what Will has been able to do in the box. He's even getting some claps there from Dan Campbell. This is a fantastic play in coverage by Will Harris. You love to see. Yes, let's see some emotion, DC. Let's see some emotion. I'm watching Jayshon Cornell on the inside here. Like I say, he's a taller defensive lineman. He's going to hit him with this swing move, and we saw this last week from Kevin Strong. This time it's Cornell, gets into the backfield, and he basically just blows this thing up single-handedly. But he's not alone. He's not alone on this one. You see the Lions bring their linebacker, Reeves Maben, in there. He takes the lead blocker. Will Harris likes playing near the box, and you see that here. But he likes to do that a split safety set. Having him line up in the box before the snap doesn't work. Being able to do things like this, have him be the guy that pushes down, that's awesome. And he looks way more comfortable there. I also got to give credit again to Charles Harris setting the edge. Harris does a fantastic job setting the edge. And you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to take care of these tight ends, right? And he does the job. Look at the position he puts himself in. Aligned with the tight end. He sets this edge completely. There's no chance. Will Harris shoots down. JRM does well. Austin Bryant with backside. Really good pursuit. And then really it's just all about Cornell blowing this up. Fantastic run stop there. I mean, so far so good. Now this time they're going to bring Jelani Tavai on the blitz. And this is why I said, like, the Lions are using Tavai and Barnes similarly. So I think this is a chance for Barnes to take Jelani Tavai's role. But when you look at Tavai here, yeah, there's things he does well. This is where Barnes is better, and that's attacking and getting downhill. Now, he has a blocks pickup, but he just seems a little bit more hesitant with it. I get it because he's trying to make sure the running back doesn't take off, because if the running back takes off and he continues to blitz, then all of a sudden it's like, Tavai, what were you doing? So I understand it. I do understand what he's doing there. But a couple of notes. Watch Austin Bryant at the, Charles Harris at the bottom of the screen here. They bring the blitz on the opposite side. The Lions did this a couple times. We'll get into some of them where I was like, what are they doing? And they also brought A.J. Parker. So, I mean, they were getting after it, right? They bring 5 guys on this play. They're going to drop Charles Harris into coverage. It's nice to see the ability out of Charles Harris, bam, right here on the tight end. I don't know why they blitz from one side and then they drop on the other side. It doesn't completely make sense to me. Sometimes I just get confused by that. I don't know. Aaron Glenn gets paid more than I do. He probably knows what he's doing, but I'm just saying some of it does confuse me in certain situations. But regardless, they go to this quick out route here. Jalen Reeves Maben, because Tavai left, has a little bit more field to cover. You have, the safety shooting down to try to help Tracy Walker, and they get the stop. Now, this was a 2nd and long situation. Now we're in 3rd and 3. So he gets the stop. They give up a couple more yards than you would like to. You like to limit that a little bit more. Having the safety come down, though, he's just a little bit late because you're bringing in the blitz. And like I said, they like to blitz. Like, if you're like saying, hey, I want to blitz more, I think we got the right guy to do that. I didn't really get to see this play. We can't even see it. Even I went back and watched the replay where they're showing, extra replays. You just can't see where Okudah is in coverage. They don't show it. I don't know why, but they don't do it. I don't know why they don't do it, but they don't do it. However, this is something schematically that I do like to see. And when we talked about the ability to be the most unique coverage, in the secondary, because you can do things like this post-snap, this was cool to see. I know it's basic, but it's cool to see. You have Jalen Reeves Maben one-on-one with the tight end here. That came back and had some issues later, but he's one-on-one with the tight end here. We're going man coverage across the board. We're going to ask Tavai to take this running back out of the backfield, so Okudah's going to give some space. He's playing outside leverage, as you can see, just by the way he's aligned, and you're going to have that safety, Will Harris, in the back end, so that's why he's doing that. This is a 3rd and short situation, so I do like the way they play coverage on this play. I like it, man-to-man across the board, but what they do, they allow Tracy Walker to come down, shoot down on this drag. He takes away that look for the quarterback, where in usual situations, you're just asking Tavai to cover him across the middle of the field. That's going to be open. But this is what we talked about. Split coverage, usually, the middle of the field is going to be wide open. But when you can do things like this post-snap, because you have a Tracy Walker and Will who can both come in and both drop deep, that's the versatility we talk about that's exciting. You see it here. Walker can drop down into the box. Will Harris can play deep, and vice versa. Now, more often, is Will going to be in the box? Yes. But they can both do it. And you see it here. Here's the drag route. They're going to ask Tracy Walker to come help him. They take away that. Man coverage across the board. You can see Jalen Reeves Maben running stride for stride with tight end. And he didn't have bad coverage. His size just became an issue. But it's Okudah's side where he gets burnt. Now, he would come back and kind of redeem himself. But I don't know what happens right there. Maybe he slipped. I almost feel like he had to slip because you're going to see the amount of separation there. It just doesn't seem right. But backpedaling, here's the break for the receiver, and it almost looks like he slipped because when they changed the camera, he's got a huge step on him. And I'm watching this back, I'm like, why did Will Harris not make a play on the football? Because he's got a chance to do it. He could have easily made a play on the football. The issue is Will Harris was playing coverage as if the wide receiver was going to be led. He took the angle of, okay, the receivers beat Okudah. I got to try to get back there. Will's running out here to be the last line of defense. But because look, he doesn't even look back at football. You see how he's not looking back at football? He doesn't want to slow himself down. He's just thinking, this is going to be a catch, and I'm going to have to chase this guy down. Understandably, because Okuda's beat. But you can see, like I'm saying, look the angle he's running. He's running out here. Meanwhile, the receiver is starting to slow down. He's not even looking back at the football because he's thinking he's going to be gone. If I slow down by looking back at the football, it's going to be a touchdown. So all he's thinking about is limit this play because he's the only safety. And then he realizes, like, oh, snap, wait a minute, this receiver is stopping. And by the time he does that, he doesn't get his head around to make a play on the football. This could have easily been an interception if he knew where the ball was, but he didn't know where the ball was. So he goes and he's like kind of all out of sorts, and he kind of just runs into him and tackles him. And this is what happened, right? You're talking about a 3rd and 3 situation, had a chance to get off the field, and it's a bomb. Will Harris could have made a play on the football. If Okuda doesn't get beat, maybe we get off the field there, and you're talking about back-to-back 3-and-outs. We're feeling completely different, but it was these chunk plays the Lions gave up. And the thing is, you're going to see this in the preseason. There's not a lot of scheme here. It's just one-on-one. As well give some more credit to A.J. Parker because Parker was fantastic. The more and more I watch, I'm like, man, Parker, you were really good. So they're going to have Tavai and Reese-Maybin over the middle of the field here in coverage. They bring a 4-man rush this time. This time not going to blitz. You almost have to just point out for that, but they usually consistently at least bring 4 guys. They do that here. Not a lot of pressure. It's a good job by the offensive line. They do really well across the board, especially in the interior where they're pretty strong. You can see McNeil quick get off. He gets a good push, but after that, he's not able to get inside and make any play. He gets kind of stonewalled there. And then the outside linebackers, you can see Charles Harris basically plays this. I think he thought it was a run. It's a play action. He starts this like a run. Like, he's not attacking downhill. He kind of slides over like this run play right here, and I get it because it looks like a run. But by the time he knows his play action, he's like, oh, snap, now I'm getting after the quarterback, and he's trying to smack at him, fight at him, so he doesn't get to use that speed that he was trying to build up. Well done play action play. But watch A.J. Parker. I mean, my goodness, A.J. So, look, he's dropping here, and look how quickly he flies down on this. They're going to dump it off to the running back. Nope. A.J. says nope. That puts us in a 2nd and 10 situation. You can see the Detroit Lions are playing some man coverage across the board here. You can see it by the A.J. Parker motion. Again, they bring Tavai on the blitz, and you can see, like, just watch Tavai blitz here. Watch this. Like, did y'all just see that? Like, this is not Tavai strong. I mean, you can just tell that Barnes is fit better for this defense. It's just simply put. Because Barnes, he closes his gap quicker. He affects the quarterback. Tavai, it's a little bit like, okay, what are we doing here? Nothing. There's nothing. So they're putting them in the same situations, but it's not necessarily a shot at Tavai as much as it is just like, hey, this is what they're going to ask of their inside linebackers. Derek Barnes fits that mold better. We talked about it yesterday, and I think you see it clearly on this snap, right? I mean, what is that? But also, he gets stuck a little bit behind the defensive line, Cornell here, when he was trying to attack inside. But regardless, either way, that's just not really a strong suit. And the reason this is an issue is because if he's blitzing and not doing anything, not getting any kind of pressure, you're just losing a guy instead of him just sitting back in coverage. So if he's going to blitz, you need to have some sort of effect somewhere. Play man-to-man coverage across the board. You have A.J. Parker shooting down on this route. This time it's just kind of it looks like just a running back option route out of the backfield. So because you're in man-to-man coverage, Henry Maven shoots outside because you can't allow that flat. You can't sit over the middle. And you have your cornerback on the opposite side. So he takes the outside, allows him to hit the arrow back inside. Reese Maven does a fantastic job of limiting this. I like how he didn't let him break it, because if he lets him break, this turns into a huge play. But he limits it. So credit to him there. Brings up a 3rd and 4 on the running back option route out of the backfield. Don't completely understand it. I don't know. Maybe they'll make a play though on it in a year, and I'll be like, oh, okay, I get it. This is just one of the things I may just have to learn about because I don't completely understand. So they're going to bring A.J. Parker on the blitz off the edge, and I'm fine with that. You can see the safety from this side of the field. He steps down, to basically fill where A.J. Parker would have been, but then they drop the linebacker on the other side. Like, aren't you usually taught to throw towards the blitz? So I would think you drop like a guy like Harris and then have him sit where, oh, the blitz is coming, and then, I don't know. Bring a 4-man rush because they're going to ask on the opposite side of the field, Austin Bryant to drop into coverage, and, it shows you a little bit of that ability. I mean, there's nothing crazy here. He's just kind of walking back into coverage. But they bring that. Will Harris steps down, basically take that coverage role. But on a 3rd and 4, this is a weird situation to do it. We're unable to see downfield what's actually going on in this play because this is a zone drop, so I can't really see what Will Harris is doing on this play. But it looks like it's just Amani dropped way too deep in coverage, in his zone coverage. You have Will Harris stepping up, but it looks like Will Harris runs with the route. So Amani didn't really have to drop, but Amani does drop, and you can see it's just too much cushion on a 3rd and 4. You can't give this much space. It's just, I don't completely understand the play. He goes down and tries to make a tackle. He does, but it's pretty much an easy first for the offense in 3rd and 4. Multiple chances to get off the field. So they're going to pull Ebron inside on this play. Reese Maven takes Ebron, the lead blocker. And of course, then Tavai needs to be there to clean it up. We talked about that. And I'm not calling holding on Tavai. I'm calling it actually on a Lee McNeil here. He's getting double team blocked. But watch this right here. Bam. You see how he grabs the outside shoulder and he kind of just pulls him away from the play? Maybe it's because he let go so quickly, they didn't call it because it looks like it's inside here, and then he just kind of pulls him out. To me, that's holding. Holding, twisting, jerking. You can see the definition. The definition of holding doesn't matter if you're inside or outside the pads. It's just easier to see outside the pads. Got to be a little patient because if he jumps inside, then a running back can bounce this way, right? He can pick this hole. So he plays this patient game, and of course, since he does that, he's not there to make the stop once the offensive lineman goes up and picks him up. And because Aleem McNeil, to me, was getting held, it just opens up this gaping hole where he's able to pick up a nice gain. So that's just a play that, I don't know. I think they missed something. It's what? A.J. Parker's coming off the edge. I mean, they do it all the time. This time they line up Reese Maven off the edge too. They're coming after it on the sides, and it works out perfectly. They're doing a lot in the backfield, but nothing on the ground game. Parker, the role that they put him in was for success. And he had some success. So shout out to A.J. Parker doing his thing on that play. Now this brings up a third down situation for coverage. Again, another opportunity to get off the field. This is like 3 times they had a chance to get off the field. I know it's not always a third and long. This one's a little bit longer. You can see where the first down marker is. But you got a chance to get off the field. And this one, they kind of did everything right. They really did. Watch the linebackers' communication here. They do a good job. Tavai sticks with the drag route. Jalen Reeve-Maven stays home. He doesn't overcommit. He's like, hey, you got that side. I'm going to take this running back leak. It's great communication. They do their job underneath. They do everything right on this play, and then it's just simply getting beat. It's a great job by Ben Roethlisberger with this pump fake right here, and we can't really see Ben, but you see the fake. It fakes out the camera, and right off that fake, look at what Tracy Walker does. See how he jumps up field? Tracy Walker jumps up because he thought he was going to throw the football, so he's trying to make a play on it. Understandably, right? He thinks he's making a play on the football. Bam! But since he still has the ball, now he's out of position, and it's an easy throw for Ben Roethlisberger high in the end zone. It's a touchdown. So multiple opportunities. It's just a couple of just being a little bit off, making this one mistake. It's being a little bit off here, and we all of a sudden are giving up a touchdown. It starts off with a huge punt return, which puts them at their own 43-yard line, which obviously is not a spot you want to be in defensively. But then, of course, the Steelers take advantage of their situation, and it's things like this. This pass should never put you at the 10-yard line. You should not be at the... I paused it right here. You're seeing this. You are not thinking, oh, yeah, they're going to be at the 10 after this. This should not put a team at the 10-yard line. So it was little things that killed us. I mean, it wasn't like we played consistently bad defense. Multiple opportunities to get off, but then one little thing would beat us. And those are things that we have to improve upon as we go forward. But again, I think you see it here, okay? So not a ton of pass rush. It's a really nice clean pocket. And again, Aleem McNeil's basically getting double teamed in the inside here. So someone needs to win a one-on-one. I mean, that's simple as that. Cornell, I mean, he doesn't get inside. He allows the offensive lineman to get in his shoulder pads. He's got no chance. They're getting a little bit of push on the outside here. Harris isn't really winning his rep on the bottom against the tight end, which you really should. I mean, I want to see Charles Harris get in the body of that tight end and just bowl him back. You're stronger than him. Go through him, right? He's more of a finesse player, though. Got to be good coverage downfield because with all this time, he takes the leak out. He takes the running back drop-off. So, good, you did what you wanted to do, but you're going to see what happens. Watch, I'm going to stop it right here. Bam. Ethan Bryant, you're going to see him here. He slips and he falls, and it hurts him because he's not able to go down and shoot down and make this play, contain the outside to really blow this up. I mean, this play should be brought down about, right here, about the 46. But it's not. It gives Najee Harris a little bit more time to run towards the sideline, create a little bit of separation. And then, look, when you're top running back in the draft, sometimes you're just really good with the ball in your hands. And that's what Najee was in this play. Bam, he hits Tavai with the stutter. And we've said this before, and you guys even brought up in the chat. Like, Jelani Tavai, he doesn't really explode all the way through a carry. Like, right here, I want to see him go down and explode. I want to see him run through Najee Harris. And I understand you don't want him to break this way or that way, but this is why I think sometimes he gets into his head a little too much. He's a smart player. I'm not going to count that against him, but sometimes it's just just fly. And I think the Lions need to get into his head like, let's just go. All right, just go downhill, make this play on the football. Don't hesitate. And he hesitates a little bit. Najee hits him with a good move. And then he's not there to make tackle. Austin Bryant can't get the helper on the edge. It's really just a poor angle by Austin Bryant as well, which stops Tavai's ability to make the play. This is a really bad angle by Austin Bryant. And a lot of it had to do because he slipped. He needs to get a little bit further outside here. But he's probably thinking, I'm going to jump on this tackle. He doesn't get a good angle. And all of a sudden, he's running down the sideline. And I credit Jelani Tavai. Look at this. All right, I credit the effort. He runs him down with Will Harris and makes the tackle. But, man, just explode on that. Just explode on that play. Blow that up. And I don't think it's not that he can't do it. I don't think he said he can't. Like, watching this back, I think Tavai can just explode through this. But he maybe just not telling himself that he can play that way. He just needs someone to tell him, just look at this play and go. Like, when you're in this spot, the running back is in your sight line. You're 2 yards, 1 yard apart. I don't want you to think about it. I want you to explode through him. All right, I understand. your background playing with different defenses, it was a little more patient, but no, we need you to explode through this because that's the type of linebackers that we're looking for. That's the type of linebacker that Derek Barnes is that we drafted, all right? And then you're going to come back with it. You're going to get a run stop. And again, they had another chance on this possession to get off the field. Now watch Tavai attack this differently. Watch him just shoot down into the backfield. He doesn't make the stop, but he does have the running back bounce to the outside. He takes a different approach to this snap. Our run defense much better. I like Amani getting in there. Will Harris playing aggressive. JRM gets in there, helps make a tackle. That brings up second down. Then you're going to get this jet sweep. And Okudah, he gave up the big play early. He's going to come back, redeem himself a little bit. First starting here. This is the thing that Okudah's fantastic at. They're going to try to get Eric Ebron to basically, lead block on the outside on this jet sweep. And okay, interesting enough. Shout out to the outside linebacker out here, forcing the receiver to bounce a little bit too far. Julian Okwara just showing off that complete athleticism. So he was getting some reps against basically the first team offense. And some of that athleticism trying to get out there, and he forces this play a little bit to the outside. But then it's just all about Okudah. I mean, Okudah is fantastic at this. He just gets an arm out there, trips up the receiver, and Reeves-Maben closes on that play. This is something that our outside cornerbacks do well. Amani did this later, and there you see it again. So Okudah makes a fantastic play. They limit this. It comes up with a fumble. Now you're in third down. Let's get off the field. Let's force a field goal. Let's force a field goal. We have a chance to do it. And we saw this later when Derek Barnes had the drop pick. We had a chance to get off. That time we did. Here, let's get off the field, right? Well, that again does not happen, and it comes at this spot. And this is just simple. It's a one-on-one. It's not bad coverage. We saw him asked of this before, and this is something that, something to keep an eye on as we go forward with what the Lions are going to do during the season. Are they going to put Reeves-Maben in these responsibilities? Let's say he makes the team. Obviously when you have Jamie and Alex, JRM is 6 foot tall. This is a tough matchup, and it's just as simple as that. Will Harris is kind of his help on this side of the field, and you can see right here, see that little nonchalant kind of look left for Big Ben? It forces Will to drop to that side because he looks him off. It's a good play by vet quarterback. It's the little things that you don't always pick up on. Good job. I like the coverage over here. It's good. It forces a tough pass, but you get the safety pulled out of it because Big Ben does his thing. So now you have Will playing a little bit from behind. One-on-one. He's in a spot. He just doesn't jump. He just doesn't jump. He can't see the football. He's either got to get his head turned around or he needs to be a little bit taller. But right here, when his hands go up, when his eyes go up, JRM, you got to raise your hands, man. But it was really just a good throw by Ben Roethlisberger. He put it high and away, just simply using his height advantage, and it's a touchdown. So this final drive that I want to show you, this is kind of the Lions' first team. It's a lot of the same defensive players out there on the field. Now you got Julian. You're going to mix in some Kevin Strong. We're going to see some Levi on this drive. And again, we'll get into this more throughout the week, but it's also against Mason Rudolph. It's still a lot of the first team offense, just thrown in Mason Rudolph, okay? So there was like one drive like this, and I thought I would at least throw it in just because it was pretty much the first team. And a lot of these guys could be on the first team defense, specifically in the secondary. Okudah, AJ Parker, Amani Oruwariye, your safety. So I thought I'd at least throw it in. Will Harris, Tavai, Jalen, they were playing starting reps earlier. So I thought I'd at least throw this drive in here. It's going to be a lot of underneath things. First play you're going to see is a run here. They're going to get the jet sweep, the fake jet sweep. But keep an eye on this, man. Number 41, AJ Parker. It's a heck of a push by this left guard. He gets low. He bowls the defensive lineman out of the play. Look at that. Bam. I can't even tell who that is. I don't even. Is that Cornell? Yeah, Cornell gets a little bit too high. He just wins the leverage battle and just takes care of him. He just moves him out of the play. So the Lions have a pretty gaping hole here. Julian coming off the edge. But it's a heck of a job by Kevin Strong again. It's these little things. He didn't really impact the play, but he stays low, holds his ground, and he kind of forces his play back inside because he kind of sticks his head out. He's like, yeah, you can't bounce it. So Kevin Strong deserves some credit here for an Austin Bryant that's on the ground, for a guy like Kevin Strong to single-handedly forces back inside. But look at AJ. Through all this chaos, AJ slips in and says, nope, I'm going to make the stop. I'm going to slip in there and make a stop. And then also Jalen Reeves-Maben as well. He kind of shoots down and just does his thing, and they blow that thing up. Good tackling, good swarm tackling. They're going to bring a 5-man rush here, and that kind of leads to the issues. This is a really well-designed play. I like it. They're going to send kind of this 44 here kind of on a route, which really throws off the Lions defense because they're going to bring 5 guys. You can see they're bringing everybody across line of scrimmage to get this blitz. 5-man means blitz. So they're going to bring a blitz, but because they leak out 44, Will Harris takes him instead of the running back. So no one accounts for the running back on this play. That's just a mess up in terms of matchups and personnel. No one accounts for the running back on this play at all. You have Tavai and you have JRM over the middle. I'm assuming they're both playing zone coverage over the middle. That's what it looks like because neither of them follow a guy. Tavai kind of sits with the tight end, but it just looks like zone coverage. No one accounts, though, for this running back out of the backfield. Maybe Okwara. I don't know. Someone should have done it, but it's just a simple mistake. There's no one even out there. So that could have been on play calling, something like that, and it turns into a big gain. That's just a basic mistake that you can't have. And you see it again here. They're going to go with just a simple dump off. There's nothing crazy to these plays. See AJ Parker. It's kind of hard to see. I mean, I wish we could have all 22 back, but AJ Parker on the outside here, and he's kind of going to take a peek at this, and he does a good job because it's looking like, oh gosh, there's gonna be all this space. But AJ does a good job coming off his route, sitting in this zone. He knew this was his area of the field, and there's no one else over here. I got to get down there. If no one else is going to, I have to. Good job by Parker to get in the position. Another nice play. It was just a really nice move by the receiver in a lot of space. He cuts upfield, gets a really strong gain on the play. It was a good job by AJ Parker to get out there. And but then he just made a nice move and picked up some extra yards. But then here we go again. Here's the AJ Parker. He's going to slide inside to help the run. I like it. I do like that. But once they throw this quick screen, things could become a problem here. But look at Amani. This is where Amani's got to get a lot of credit because Amani's getting blocked. For him to make this play getting blocked, that's not an easy ask. Now, I like that AJ was going to shoot back over here and help. But look at Amani. As soon as this pass comes out, bam. He's just, I'm running through this receiver. You better be able to make a play on the outside. Okuda had one earlier. Now it's my turn. Let me go down there, slide down, make a play. AJ flies over and helps. But it's really Amani who makes that play on the edge. So you're in another third down situation. Great. Let's get off the field, right? Let's do it. Let's get off the field. No, that's not going to happen. We're going to go man coverage again at the linebacker position here. Across the board, Lions are going to play some man coverage. And it's JRM that's beat this time on a corner route. Now, I wish we could see how this actually went down. They put Tavai on the running back, and you can see a little physical here. And after the play, watch Jalen Reeves-Maybin, he kind of gives a sign of like, isn't that a push-off? Like, was there a push-off? We can't see it, unfortunately. We can't really see what's going on here with Jalen Reeves-Maybin on the play. We only can see basically when he catches it. Outside linebackers, they get a little bit of push. The inside gets a little push, but nothing great there. I mean, who do you have? You have Strong coming, you have Cornell. On this side, at the bottom, you have Austin Bryant, and you have Julian. Julian was fantastic last week. Didn't have the same type of week, but this time the running back helps out a little bit here. Julian, I still want to see some of that, playing through the body of some of these tackles, but it's really just this corner route. 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, got a chance to get off the field. It's a lot of cushion given up. You're wondering why there's so much space between the two. JRM tells us it's basically a pass interference. Watch him after this play. Like, is that not a push-off? And then they get the first down. So, I don't know. They're playing physical. I know that. A heck of a job by Tavai in communication. He just doesn't make the play. He can't really make the play. So, they're going to go zone coverage drop. It's simple. Just watch the two linebackers, JRM and Tavai. Good communication. He's like, hey, pass him off. You take the receiver. I got the running back. But he's not quick enough to get out there and actually take the running back. So this is where, again, it comes back to having those athletes. He sees these things. He sees running back coming out. And as soon as he sees that, he's like, hey, you take him. I'm going here. Great job. Heck of a job. But then he's unable to get out there and make the play. So this is an area when we start to watch, when we go back and we'll take a look later in this, when we see how Derek Barnes played, I'm going to look for that specifically to see how he did if he was asked to play in any of these situations where he had to pass things off, run the defense, run the show, because that's what they drafted him to be. But he's only played Mike linebacker, or I should say off-ball linebacker 1 year in his career. So Jelani Tavai is definitely more comfortable with these parts of it seems like, but he just doesn't have that athleticism to do what the Lions want him to do here. We have some locks at defensive line. You can see Cornell here with a nice swim move over the top. He loves going to that, and this time he's able to get a little pressure before he slipped. And that's why they view him as a 1st and 2nd down linebacker, because situations like this is the problem you get. This is the problem. I mean, he knows where to be. He knows what he's got to do. He just can't get out there and make the play. Run right up the gut. Watch this, okay? Now, we're going to see some Levi on this play. Let's give Levi some love. He gets out there, and all of a sudden, he's making an impact. Levi, quick get off. I mean, he just kind of sheds the offensive lineman, and this lineman's like, oh, snap, I got to go back and help. Ebron does his job to pick it up, but it was a good job by Levi to kind of just sidestep. I mean, simply just showing something, I'm just going to move, and the lineman's like, oh, snap, I got to go back and get him. But you have this hole open, all right? And right here, like, let's go. Let's go. Let's get down there. Let's make the play. I mean, okay, could he bounce here? But Tavai's not getting over there anyways. Let's go. You're looking at him. The offense. I mean, it's a hole. It's you versus him. Don't wait. Don't be patient. This is not Patricia's defense. Go downhill and make this play. Instead, he kind of waits, and Julian makes the stop. But it's like, go, man. You could flash. Who knows, maybe the Lions are telling him to play patient like that, but I doubt it because Barnes is not playing that way. And I get it, yes, he could bounce to the outside. Maybe he just needs to trust his outside linebackers and the edge sets. But, man, someone's just got to get in this guy's ear. Levi right here. Bam, okay, Levi. I don't even know what's going on with you, but okay. Taking on the 2 offensive linemen. Looking crazy out there, but it's nice to see you. Limited reps, but it's nice to see you back, my dude. It It really is. This takes me back to Levi's college film. Good get off. He stays low. He wins the leverage battle, but then he gets a little tall as the play goes on. You want to see him keep that bend as the play goes, and that's probably why they're making sure his back is all right. And really, I like how Charles Harris attacks the tight end this time. Like, I'm putting my shoulder into him, even though he goes down to one knee. I like how he attacked it. Reese-Maybin gets downhill, and of course, he's able to go there and make the play. Hey, if Tavai wants to take the lead blocker, I'm fine with that, but he needs to, if he's going to flow in, flow in. Reese-Maybin kind of just sits there. He does his job. He attacks down. He makes the stop, and now we're in a third down situation. So you got a chance to get off the field again. And this time they finally do it. When you need to get off the field, someone needs to step up. Who's stepping up? The guy that's been the leader this offseason, the guy that we've talked about all the time, he needs to step up. And they're going to attack you. The quarterback's coming right out of his first read. First progression is, I'm throwing it at you. I'm throwing it at you, Hefe. Right at the bottom, one-on-one, Juju Smith. This ain't a scrub. This is a one-on-one, mano-y-mano. Get us off the field. I mean, it's as simple as that. Good players make this happen. Get us off the field, Jeff. We need you. And he makes the play here, and that's what I like to see. Now, again, the Lions weren't getting the same pressure they were getting last week by any means. I don't mean to laugh, but Julian, what is this? I mean, I think he thought Ebron was blocking, but okay. I mean, hey, all right. Again, we talk about versatility. What have the Lions done with Tracy Walker in practice? One-on-one reps. They are trying to make him better in this area. They've done it all camp. We saw him get beat earlier. Look where he's lined up at. One-on-one here against the tight end. They are trying to help him in these one-on-one reps. They need him to be able to do that for the versatility so they can slide him down, slide Will down. I don't know what Trey and Romeo are going to be able to do, but you want to see some of these backups step up. Julian just thought something else was happening there, apparently. And we'll get to more of this as we go through it, see who did step up, because I'm sure there were guys that stepped up in terms of getting rushed as the game went on. But then you're going to get this one-on-one shot, bottom of the screen here with Hefe. And this is what we saw all camp, so we wanted to see this out of him. Hey, it's you versus him. You're on an island. Make this play. Look at him get his head turned around. When the receiver puts his hand up, Jeff turns his head around. That's how you play the spot at a high level. Gets his hand in there, and he breaks it up. And we're incomplete. We're getting off the field. We know it. These games are all about learning, what guys you're going to have this season, what guys you're going to keep, what the rotations are going to look like, trying to figure out which guys you can trust, which guys step up in game situations in certain moments, who are the guys that you can rely upon to get the job done when you need it most. And I think we saw A.J. Parker as one of those guys. They like him. They're playing him a lot. He is one of those guys. But when you watch this game back, I mean, it's not like we were getting gashed. We were getting like, we're getting destroyed, on the run game, or we can't stop the pass and no one can cover. Like, it wasn't a complete disaster. We had so many chances where this would have looked completely different if just one play went differently on a drive, right? I mean, we would just make one play. And it was clear the Lions, they weren't schematic. They weren't like going super deep into the defensive scheme. It wasn't like they were saying, okay, hey, Jalen Reese-Maybin got beat. Let's find a different matchup. Let's put Iffy on the tight end. Like, I don't know. Try something exotic during a game that you would do, because you can't let that keep happening. You got to make the adjustment. They didn't really do that because they just kind of ran the same things we saw last week, a lot of the same things, trying to evaluate these players in certain situations where, I talked a lot about Tavai, because Tavai is one of those guys, I think he's a smart linebacker, but it's just becoming clear that he's not the perfect fit for this defense. Could the Lions keep him on the roster? Yeah, they could definitely keep him on the roster. And I'll have to look and see where Derek Barnes is at in terms of some of these communication things, how well he's with that. But he's clearly the type of fit that the Lions, they need at that linebacker position. He fits that spot really, really well, just in terms of what they're going to ask of their guy. If you think about it, I mean, just look at what we did this offseason, right? Tavai, he was, from the past regime, he lost some weight, he's going back, but you changed the contract of a guy like Jamie Collins. Collins is for the last scheme as well. Collins is a very talented player. Even though he fits a little bit different, now is one or more reliable players. Even though he's not perfect for the scheme, he's a reliable player. You know what you're going to get, and he can make some of those plays. He understands it. He's a vet. He understands the game. It's clear the kind of guys that they like for this defense. I'm going to be interested to see what they do with the linebacker position aside from Tavai. I'm talking the other linebackers, like more of the wheel guys, the guys that are dropping, the Pittmans, the JRMs. What are the Lions going to do at that spot? Who are they going to keep? From this alone, Reese-Maybin made some plays, and some of those, it was just like, dang, he's just a little bit too short. And during a game, I feel like you would change that. If you have a tight end that's a half a foot taller and they're high pointing it on him, you have to make some kind of adjustment. And in our case, hopefully he's not the guy on the field right away. He would be he's a reserve. He'd be a backup for us if he makes the team. So it's not like he'd be getting his reps anyways. It'd be Alex, or it'd be a guy like Jamie, who can probably play that at a higher level. But we're trying to figure out rotations here, right? We're talking about the backups. So you just kept running to see these one-on-ones. Okudah got beat deep, but then he came back and he stepped up. We needed off the field. They went to Okudah, and he was the guy that stepped up. Someone's got to step up. Trey and Romeo will step up during the season. We saw Romeo last year. Do you know what Trey can do? Some guys we know we're going going to get, but who else are going to step up? AJ stepped up. Okuda stepped up. Amani stepped up. Will even stepped up on the first drive. We see Tracy Walker get beat, but I like the fact that in practice, I'm saying, hey, they're utilizing that in practice. They're asking him to cover a lot because it's true. You can see how they want to use him this season. They want to see that. Most of the time, they do trust Will a lot more to slide down the box, get these man coverage responsibilities. But they're going to ask T-Walk to do it from time to time. And T-Walk's more, and Will Harris is more comfortable in the box, not as comfortable at deep safety as Tracy Walker is. So it's going to be like a 70-30% type of thing. But they still both need to do it, just improving and trying to see who's doing what. And that's why you can't take the score too serious. I don't know how you could bet or play fantasy on a preseason. How do you even do it at preseason, man? We're not even scheming. Like, we're running the same things we did last week to compare these players and figure out who you're going forward with. But next week will be the big week, and we're going to dive into these segments throughout the week. So let me know in the comment section below what we should take a look at next. If there's a player individually, we're going to take a look at Barnes. So, that'll be coming. We'll probably look at Lee McNeil, Levi. We're going to look at these guys. But I just want to look at this first team defense. Thank you, probably, for watching, and I'm out.